Blog Talk Radio.
Carol the Coach. Sex, love, and relationships. We talk about it here.
Carol the Coach. Compassion with contemporary relevance.
I am a psychotherapist. I can be your personal life coach, and I can help you with your issues. There are no problems too small or too big. You can talk about anything.
Speaker, columnist, radio TV host, and commentator. Carol the Coach brings messages of wellness and empowerment within reach of everyday people every day.
Almost 5 years ago, I lost my soulmate in an accident. He was killed in a plane crash. Life just, for me, has seemed to stop.
There are groups all over the city. I teach one. It is a specific way to start thinking so that you shift how you see the world, which then shifts your energy, and then you feel better and you actually see things differently.
Carol the Coach. Always available, too, at carolthecoach.com.
Now, I've got Russell on the line.
I'm 47 years old. I'm a truck driver. I'm married. I have a wife in San Francisco.
Okay.
I haven't been home in 6 months. My thing is, I don't know if I have a sex addiction or what the problem is. Why do I want what I can't have? And as soon as I can have it, I don't want it anymore.
You're right on target when you say, I don't know if I have a sexual addiction. Well, guess what? Yes, you do. And you know what? That's my specialty, Russell. So you're at the right place. Continue.
I meet women online, and I'm in a different part of the country. I travel all 48 states, so I love sex.
I hear self-esteem issues. You never felt good enough, and you didn't feel like you were getting what you should have then, and you're reenacting that now. Do you want to change that about yourself?
You get what you need.
I got an interesting email
this morning, and I'm telling you, it said, Carol, you have got to help me. You've got to help me get stronger in my relationship with my wife. And I know you've got that Irkham thing, and I know you've got Help Her Heal. What can we do to really make a difference in our relationship? And so I thought about it, because truly what I know is that it is so important for him to help her heal, be patient while she's on that roller coaster. And, men don't know what to do. They really don't know what to do. And so one of the things I had done, I created the Help Her Heal course to help men learn how to do that. It's an online course, or you can take it specifically from me for 12 weeks. But then I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I created a Help Them Heal course? And so just got that finished. I just got it published, and I want you to know you can go to Teachable.com, look for the Help Them Heal course, and take this course together. I really believe that to be able to heal, if he can learn the relational skills that's going to make you feel better, then together you can work on building a new relationship. And that's what this course is all about. Now, I got to tell you, I've got an amazing guest. Today I'm going to be interviewing Tara Brown, who is trauma-informed. She's a coach, and she's a speaker. And she actually is near and dear to my heart because she trained with APSATS. And we all know that APSATS is the premier organization for partner training. Now, she has her own story, and I'm going to let her talk about that. But because of her story and because of her ability to get to help her to get to that place where she could give back, I said to myself, wow, when I heard that she was putting on this intensive weekend of grieving, growling, healing, and hope, I said, oh, I've got to interview this woman. So Tara Brown, welcome to Sex Help with Carol the Coach. And I'm just so happy to have you with us. So tell me a little bit, if you would, tell me a little bit about this intensive retreat. And, I just love an intensive weekend of grieving, growing, healing, and hope. You really have lived your own life, haven't you? And you know what women need.
Yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So give us a little bit of background. Tell us a little bit about your life and what created this incredible visioning of a program.
Okay, yeah. So I married my high school sweetheart in, well, that's not actually true, but we dated and we knew each other in high school, so we met when we were 15. And I'll just say that I thought he was beautiful, and I loved him from afar for a long time. And finally convinced him to go out, and we got married, and we had a really great life. That was really numb, I would say, now looking back. I didn't know it at the time, but I grew up in a really chaotic home where it was my job as the oldest to help everyone numb, avoid, deny, run away from, eat their emotions. Mm-hmm. And so I found, it makes perfect sense to me now that I found a man who needed help to do that too, who was very comfortable with numbing his own emotions. So fast forward, we've been married 16 years. We had 4 kids and lots of degrees behind us both. And we were living really parallel lives. And it felt distant, even though we didn't really have any problems. And one day he broke down and opened up to me. And in one morning, my whole life changed, where he told me that he had an addiction to pornography. He had been acting out while he was traveling around the world. He really got to the point where he knew that I was just going to say, I'm done, and that's it. And he just couldn't hold it back anymore. And all of a sudden my world went like Zoom quiet. It was, I didn't know who to talk to. It was 13 years ago, and so I didn't dare to Google anything. I didn't know what to Google if I did. I didn't know who to reach out to. I didn't know how to tell anyone. I was still, as a pleaser, trying to save or protect him and his story, and I didn't know how to get the help that I needed. And he came to me later and asked me if I would do this therapy with him, and that was really the beginning of, and of course, as a pleaser, I say, I was like, oh, sure, of course I can do that, because we're going to fix you, right? We're going to fix you, and then everything will be fine for me if we fix you. But that invitation was what I needed to open up my own healing, and that's really what happened. We did a bunch of group coaching together, and then we did it separately, and then we ended up each going to a retreat, which was really where I unlocked my emotions, the fact that I didn't have any, that I hadn't felt any for so long. And that's really where my passion has come full circle into helping women realize how we live our lives. So like it's this honor, and we think we're doing it to serve our families and the people around us, to give up parts of ourselves along the way. And I want to help women reconnect with themselves and know that it's okay and safe to find herself and express herself in a healthy way, so that she can be a full-on member of her own life.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and it was through your own pain that you created the gain and then wanted to give back. And, I'm a believer that out of great suffering comes transformation and doing for others or giving back in a special way. And so it's interesting because when you sent me some of this stuff and I was reading about it, the first thing I read, now this was my own typo because I've got a little eye problem going on right now. And it's an intensive weekend of grieving, growling, healing, and hope. Now, really what she said is it's grieving, growing, healing, and hope. But I kind of like that growling because I do believe that when women grieve, they have to get in touch with their anger, and there is some rage inside of them that they have to figure out how to honor, how to externalize, how to surrender, how to accept, and let that promote self-growth. So what do you think?
So that's interesting because my retreat is called La Loba, which means wolves. And so it's part of, she's a woman who wanders the desert to find the pieces of herself, the pieces of this wolf that she puts together at the end. And so we actually do a growl at the end. And we do actually do an anger process too, because I love how you said they have to. And I do think we have to, but I also think we give opportunity and space for that to happen. One of the things I love about the retreat setting is that we create what I call liminal space. So it's kind of like when we go to Disneyland, it's this other world experience. We put aside ourselves, we have fun in the day and whatever, and we do that at retreats too. Whatever the purpose of the retreat, we set aside ourselves. We ask you to put away your phone for the whole weekend and really give that time to yourself so that you can honor all of your emotions, because they're all important. And when we recognize that they're just trying to tell us something, then we don't have to be afraid of them anymore.
Well, yeah, and especially anger. Anger when women have not been taught that they can really be angry and find healthy ways to externalize that. And so they get to, yes, and certainly this weekend retreat is a way to honor a woman from every perspective. I mean, you do a lot of body work, you do a lot of feelings work, a lot of emotions, and a support. I mean, this is going to be a really supportive community, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, and that's the thing I love. You know, some retreats you go to, and they call them retreats. Always there's a different word for all of the different things, but sometimes you go and you're in a room with 300 women and you just take notes and have feelings and whatever. And my retreat is different because it's 18 women. 18 women who are participants, so it's very small. And then we have about 7 staff, so we actually break into even smaller sections to do some of the deepest work, because I want to build that safety, like you said, that container where you feel totally safe with yourself and with the people you are with to feel it in your body. And to, as you use your body to work through some of those emotions, you learn how to have a new feeling in your body, and you learn what it feels like to feel peace, to feel joy. I love the look. We actually started lately to take a picture when they come on Friday and a picture when they leave on Sunday, and to see the difference in just their faces in those few short days is kind of amazing, to see the transformation that happens, that can happen.
Yeah, when you said transformation, that's what I absolutely believe. And if the body keeps score of the betrayal, of the sadness, of the relationship that did not go the way one had hoped, the body can also keep score of the serenity and the acceptance and the transformation. And that's what it sounds like.
The victory,
Yeah, exactly. Now, okay, that sounds like an amazing ratio of staff versus women. We can't talk about price over the phone, but please tell me, they get there on Friday night, and they have Friday night, Saturday, and part of Sunday?
So we actually get there Friday morning. So we allow people to come and stay Thursday night, because it takes time to get to Utah, which is where we usually do them.
Okay. So
we allow you to come. So you can stay Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, and then we leave Sunday. About 5 o'clock is about the time we wrap up and leave. It includes all of that lodging and all of the food. You know, I had a woman ask me the other day. She said, "This isn't going to be one of those, I'm going to come and sleep in a tent and you're going to feed me salad and tofu kind of things." And I said, actually, no, I hire a chef to come and just really take care of us, because deep healing work makes us feel so hungry. Like our body is hungry for that change, and our spirits are hungry for that. And to feel nourished and to feel like you have the energy to work through some of those feelings is really an important part of it for me too. So that includes all of that.
And is this your first one? Have you done this before?
No, this fall will be number 8 and 9. So we have tweaked those. We've adopted new facilitators who are our core facilitators. We've had help from people like Ray. She's on the APSAT board, and she is amazing. And she tells the story, so I feel like I can, that she actually came to our first one. She signed up. She said a friend of ours was a friend of hers also, and she said, "I think you need this thing." And she said, I immediately signed up, and I pulled out my credit card, and I bought my flight, and then I sat for 2 weeks, and I was like, well, what did I just do? What did I sign up for? What's going on? But she had such a transformation personally for herself in that time when she was really transforming, that she has now become part of our core facilitation team. So she comes to every one of the retreats too, and she brings such a tender, kind, but knowledgeable spirit that I love. I love to have her there, and the gifts that she brings to our women on the weekend too.
Well, there is no doubt. You mentioned Ray, and I was on the board too, and when betrayal has happened on any level, whether it's infidelity, whether it's pornography, whether it's massage parlors, prostitutes, strip clubs, it matters not. Betrayal is betrayal, and it does affect the body, and it does affect your ability to trust, and more importantly, it affects your ability to trust yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so go ahead.
Yeah. So I was going to say, in that we have to feel it in our body, what that feels like to trust, because everything gets stripped away so uniquely in that betrayal situation. We have to learn what it feels like to create that safety for ourselves, and to know what it feels like in our bodies so that we can find it again, so that we know in those moments when we don't have the trust and in the moments when we do too. And
so you and Ray, I mean, you've got this community of people that recognize that women need to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They need to. They need the environment that allows them to do that. So I'm assuming not everybody's from Utah. I mean, I would think you have women from across the world.
Yeah, we actually do have women from across the world. The reason we do that is because this is where I live. But also, there's so many beautiful mountain valleys that we have found this beautiful home that we've done it in the last few years that is just, it's majestic, and it's surrounded by mountains, and you feel totally safe, and it's just a really beautiful, peaceful place to go. And I love the idea of driving a little bit out of the city so that it's part of the journey. It's part of that traveling to find myself. Yeah. But yes, we've had women from all over the world come and attend, and even staff.
I bet. Now, explain to our listening audience. Let me just tell you about the audience. I started out with a podcast. I had the oldest podcast on sex addiction in the world. And 1 year into it, 51% of my demographics were women. And I realized that was whites trying to understand what was going on with their husband.
Yeah.
Since then, we've really become eclectic. I mean, we do shows on sex addiction. We do shows on partner betrayal. We do shows on coupleships. We want restoration. That's one of three things: self or of the relationship, if that's even possible. But definitely we want a relationship to rekindle with our higher power.
Yeah.
And I know that I was talking to a woman this morning, and she said, I don't know how God could have allowed this to happen. I don't know why God did this to me. And it was in regards to the fact that her husband had affairs with people that had a certain proclivity. And she gets in an airport, and there's one of the people sitting right next to her, and it was right after she had gone to a retreat. So here she came back exuberant and serene because she was with women and really experienced a wonderful transformation, and unfortunately it got ripped right away from her. And I said, that's not God doing that to you. That was coincidence. We have to lean into spirituality to figure out and to remind ourselves that we are special no matter what happens. Now, you say the body stores this stuff, and I believe that too. How does it heal those patterns that have almost become reactions to the trauma?
Yeah, okay, so I love to talk about patterns. I like to call them the Grand Canyon of your patterns, because you start off doing something and then you get used to it, your body gets used to it. Okay, this is how I react, and when this happens, this is what happens. When I feel overwhelmed, this is what I do. And pretty soon you're like in the bottom of the Grand Canyon now. And there's spots in the Grand Canyon where the walls are a mile high from the river base. And like when you look up and you think, I can't reroute this river. I can't do things in a different way. But I totally know that it's possible. It would take a lot of effort, though. Think of rerouting the Grand Canyon. It would take dynamite and a lot of disruption and things going on, and that would take connection to your higher power. But I love to explain that we have these 4 areas of our life, and it's like we're going to build a chair. So we have 4 legs of our chair.
Okay.
One is physical. That's our connection to our body, right, and how we take care of our body. One is emotional. We have to be in touch with our emotions and learn how to be connected emotionally. One is mental. We really need to work on our patterns and our thoughts and our actions, the actions that those thoughts create. And the last is spiritual, and it's really important to be connected spiritually too. And most often when we feel trauma, we go to the one that we feel the most comfortable with, or the one that we have practiced the most, maybe, right? And so for a lot of my clients, it turns to prayer and meditation and whatever that looks like, scripture study. And I build this super strong leg on my chair that's spiritual. And I build, and I think my leg is so strong, but I still don't feel balanced. I still don't feel like I have it all, like I can do it all by myself, right? And when I say that, I love to say, okay, here's your chair, but it has one really strong leg. It's built out of a 6x6 fence post. It's solid. It's not going anywhere. But when we don't pay attention to the others, it's kind of like they're built out of spaghetti noodles, dry spaghetti noodles. And I can't sit on my chair and feel balanced if I'm only leaning on that one leg. And then I might as well be riding a unicycle, which sounds treacherous to me.
Right.
So I love to think of, we have to heal in all of these areas in order to feel that balance that comes. And, you know, when you bring up spirituality, like we honor women wherever they are and whatever they choose to worship and however they want to speak about God. But I truly know that God is the one who wrote the protocol for this. It was so inspired, and we are so led. We pray as a staff together often. We are always trying to feel the Spirit, and we talk a lot about intuition too, and how you can tap into what that feels like in your body, because it might feel different to you than it does to me. You might get those inspirations from God in a different way than I do, and so you need to learn what it feels like for you instead of worrying about what it feels like for Terry.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And so, you know, when we have a traumatic experience or something triggers an old pattern, what can we look at, or what can we do about that in terms of our relationship?
Yeah. In terms of our relationship, I think the best thing is to learn how to own what's mine and allow or give the space for the other person to own what's theirs. Because I don't know, I'm sure lots of your community can relate to the fact that I was a really good suggester. Mm-hmm. I had a book list for my husband, and I had a list of therapists. After a while, I had all these podcasts I wanted to listen to, and I really came to the place where I knew that I had to do my own work. I couldn't do that for him. I wanted to deeply, right? Because I wanted us to be healed. And like I said, that was 13 years ago. Last week we celebrated our 29th anniversary, and we're stronger and healthier than we've ever been. But it was funny because I was talking to my brother the other day, and I said something about, well, after I did my work, and my husband stopped me, and he looked at me and he said, "You're not done with our work." And I said, "Oh, yes, I know that for sure." But it was just a good reminder to be like, I don't think we're ever done if we're honest with ourselves. We can always grow and improve. But I truly know that now that I really have to do my own and give space for him to do his own, no matter how much I want to manage that. And so nowadays, I did catch myself one day saying, I do have a suggestion. If you're ever wanting to hear what it is, I'll be happy to share it with you. And he said, I'll keep that in mind. And I said, yay for us that we both could give that space for each other to just, maybe it's not the right time, and maybe I just know that I want to give it, but I don't have to do that either.
Oh, that makes sense. So you're speaking for women all over the world. I mean, we just have that natural ability to want to help, to want to be relational, and to want to make it easier. And sometimes when we help, we hurt.
For sure.
I wrote a column about that. When you help, you hurt. And when I was writing it, it wasn't about partner betrayal. It was telling parents, when you do too much for your children, you actually hurt them because you create a dependency and they never figure it out themselves. So we can apply that to any relationship, can't we, Sarah?
Yeah, for sure. And that's one of the things I love about the retreat, because you go home with a whole journal full of information that, you know, corresponds to what we've talked about, but also your feelings and impressions while you were there, so that you can take them home. One of my favorite processes happens as we talk about what it's going to look like to go home, because it's easy to be my strong self who is connected to my intuition and all of the things at the retreat, right? Surrounded by women who support and love me. Yeah, it's a different thing to walk into my daily life the next day. And so we work on and talk about a lot of that, and we stay connected through one of my groups from past retreat was just messaging this week, you know, after years and years. So I love the community that we built, because honestly, there'll never be another one like that. And so, like, the connection that you make with those women is a bond that you can carry if you choose to nurture that continually.
Well, and I find that women, when they are in healthy environments for support, they do attach and they don't let go, because they know a good thing when they see it. And it sounds like, well, it sounds like your participants probably have text threads, or maybe they've got each other email, and so there are regular forums, if you will, if they need that support or want to connect.
Yeah.
Okay.
We even offer an after group, so if you want to continue for any women who have attended any of the retreats, we put you together into a support system if that's what you need to continue. I would also love to help, women to create that support system at home, to go home and find those people that are close by that they can find. But I think it's important to have a variety of all that support, Yeah. People that understand exactly, people that are right here in my life every day.
Absolutely. And, certainly as I look through what you had to offer, I mean, there's a lot of conceptualized information that women may not have heard. I mean, talk a little bit about the 4 types of healing.
Yeah. Okay, so we can go back to the physical, like we do what we call psychodramas. We do also the anger burn we have is the physical. So we're going to use our body a lot. We're going to move. It is definitely not sit and take notes or journal. It's not a come to do yoga and get your nails painted retreat. So we're going to work through our body physically. Remember, we're going to learn how to connect with our emotions and with each other emotionally. We're going to mentally work on our patterns. We're going to talk about we actually do a whole project of taking my old stories and rewriting them into more positive affirmations, well, not more, but positive affirmations that I can say that are true about me, that I believe that I can say, so that my brain will do its job and go out and find all the evidence of that. And then spiritually, so that we can connect with our higher power, because when we do that, that's where it's kind of like the glue that holds all the rest of the healing together.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And so we look at those areas and maybe look for ways to become more focused on those.
Yeah, so we have tools that we give the ladies at the retreat that are ways to strengthen each of those areas. Like I said, even if it's just focusing on getting enough water to drink or having sleep, like sleep is so important to our bodies and to our healing. And I don't think that we allow ourselves to have it enough, honestly. And I just heard a thing the other day. I said to myself, do you know that I need 2 hours more sleep than you a day? Because I'm a woman and because I'm postmenopausal and all of the things, right?
Right.
But I just my body needs that to sleep. But we give, like I said, we give suggestions and ideas on ways to release our emotions in each one of those areas, and also ways to strengthen each one of those areas. Like I have this little challenge, I call it the wellness challenge, where we do one little goal in each of the areas every day, just to feel more balanced.
Wow. And then you talk about this thing called EMS. EMS,
not PMS, but that is it. the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual healing. I think it's super important. And like I said, it's just like the legs of a chair, so that I feel balanced. Because if I over-focus on one of those areas, I still don't feel like I'm getting what I need, or and probably won't even have an idea of what I need until I experiment a little to figure out, when I was doing therapy, my therapist asked us to do something novel every week and check in with what we tried that was novel every week. And I'm like, I can't come up with that many things to try and do, but it was such an adventure to give myself permission to try this thing. And if I didn't like it, that was okay. It didn't mean that I was a failure or that I did it wrong or anything, but just like, yep, now I know that's not my thing and I don't need to try it again for a while. But just give ourselves permission to do it and to not have to worry about if we did it right or wrong. Because I think that's the thing that we do as women too. We judge everything we do by a lens of what someone else.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And so what I hear you saying is that this is a place and a space for you to assess your life, look at the voids, look at things that need to be tweaked, and honor yourself enough to figure out how you can make some of those changes.
Yeah, with support too, which I think is important. Yeah, we need to know how to do it for ourselves, but then we need to have resources and support to give us permission sometimes and encouragement and all of the cheerleading that needs to go on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. So I'm talking with Tara Brown, and she has La Loba, the woman who knows. It's an intensive retreat. It's out in Utah, and it's an opportunity to work through your feelings, your grief, how to grow, how to heal, and how to have hope again. And it's designed to help you move forward through the trauma of sexual betrayal. Supported, of course, by other ways to do that too. And she said, you never have more than how many women?
18 is my cap.
18 is her cap. She's been doing this. This is her ninth?
The ninth time. Mm-hmm.
And
it's been 7 years, so.
She has a chef who comes and feeds you. And really, there are at least 7 other professionals there. So you know you're going to get a lot of, maybe not one-on-one time, but very concentrated time to look at what your issues are. Now, you say you'll bravely identify some beloved things you've lost, casualties of addiction, tragic losses, letting yourself feel the feels, or as I say, feel the feelings, and figure out how you can repair. Because life's all about repair anyways. My second most important coaching principle is I'm 100% accountable for my behavior no matter what happens to me. Somebody betrays me, somebody T-bones me, I still get a choice as to how I heal from that and what I do for myself. And that's what it sounds like this intensive is all about. Now, how can they get a hold of you?
Okay, so you can find the link to both of the retreats for this fall on my website. It's CoachTara.com, Tera. And I want to say really fast, we're actually doing it twice this fall because we're doing one in September for divorced women, divorced or separated, because there are a lot of women who are in that space who don't want to come to a weekend with women who are, for whatever reason, making it work, right? Or that this is the only way that you can be successful. And so we have tweaked our processes a little bit in September and created a few new ones to just speak directly to the heart of, and actually the staff, all except for me and one of the other core staff, everyone else is divorced or separated of the staff. And so I think that that's an important point. So September will be for that. And then in November, we're going to do it again for what we're calling the vintage model, which is the original for anyone who's experienced a betrayal or trauma. And we've had women also who have lost babies or had hard relationships with family members. And so it's not exclusively for betrayal trauma, but that is the majority of who finds us and who comes.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And although we can't talk price, we definitely can say that this is an amazing it's very cost effective. You've done a nice job of keeping the costs down.
Well, I think that financial stress is goes along with trauma. And so I don't want to price it out so that people can't take advantage of it.
100%. Now, registration links, again, for women who have experienced trauma, that's www.coachtara.com, and then /courses, /Loba.
You can find there's a link right on the main page to find La Loba. So.
Yeah, and then if you're divorced or separated, there will be opportunities for you to do a retreat, and that would be the same, www.coachtara.com, and then look for the retreats for being separated or divorced, because we know that that's an incredibly vulnerable time. It's all vulnerable, but when you're in the process of that, it can feel very isolating. And let me just ask you something. Is Coach Ray going to be working that divorce?
Coach Ray is the reason we're doing the divorce one. Honestly, she came to me and she said, I really have a heart for this community and my community, and so could we do this for just this group of women? And so Coach Ray is really, she will for sure be there. She's at every one of my La Loba retreats, but she will for sure be there with her bells on.
Well, and, for any of you that don't know, Coach Ray it's kind of a new name for her. She used to be Coach Galen, but she's changed her name to Coach Ray. I haven't asked her why, but my belief is sometimes we need to take on some newness in our life, be the person we really wanted to be. And Coach Ray is so talented, so gifted, so articulate, so protective. I've had the pleasure of being on a boat with her and visiting and really hearing her story and seeing her passion that she has, especially for the separated and divorced. It's a tough place, so I'm excited about that too. Now, again, you woke up from a lifelong pattern that you weren't even aware of after 16 years of marriage. You got over there to post-traumatic growth, which is something I advise all women to do. And now you've got this personal journey to take women and help them to really use self-care, you look at their life with intention, and feel the feelings in a way that empowers them. Is there anything else you could say about your retreat that you'd like our listeners to know?
I just think if you're looking for a place to be supported, maybe to even understand yourself, like I said, I think there are so many times we drop parts of ourselves we didn't even realize to work on. And rediscovering those things is amazing, and we love to support and hold space for that through the lens of our spiritual selves too.
Well, yes, and she says, the name of this retreat is La Loba, the woman who knows, because we do believe, despite the fact that you may have been knocked off your feet and you're gasping for air, you are a brave, courageous, strong woman, and you've got good intuition. You couldn't have possibly have known about his or her past, but what you can know is that you can trust yourself again. So, Coach Tara, I'm so excited for you. Love this retreat. I just really wish you good things because you've obviously got a passion for it.
I do. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll talk again.
Okay.
Yes. So, again, it's Coach Tara, and she is making her mission to take care of you by offering special opportunities for self-care and growth. It doesn't get better than that. Then my friend Heidi Kinsella over in Washington has her intensives that follow my work for partners, for couples, for addicts. An amazing facility. We have just got some people that have access to incredible opportunities for you. You didn't want this to happen to you, but it is your responsibility to grow from it. Put yourself first. Think about one of these retreats. Commit to doing it for yourself. And if you get kind of anxious and you want to work on something with your husband or wife, you can go to Teachable and look up the course, Help Them Heal, teaching you both how to heal your relationship after sexual betrayal. I walk you through the entire book, Help Them Heal. It's me. There's modules with me. I give you homework. You've got handouts. And you've got, the book is 19 chapters. You actually have about 23 because I break down some things and make it even more simplistic. So head on over there, and I'm so excited that you are willing to do the work, to grow stronger. As I say at the end of every show, there'll only be one of you at all times. So fearlessly have the courage to be yourself, and we will see you next week. More Sex Help with Carol, the coach. Make it a good one.